So here we are, my friends. The very last Silent Hill comic that I have to review. 3 years of looking at this garbage and, well, I'm sure you all have a lot of questions. Will I review Silent Hill Hunger? Will this, after so many dreadful comics, be any good? What will I look at next year for Halloween? Well, we'll discover the answers to those questions together. Right now. Probably not, no, and most likely something Nightmare on Elm Street related. So let's put an end to all this and dig into Silent Hill, the Grinning Man.
Welcome to Atop the Fourth Wall, where bad comics burn. Linkara's gonna teach you all a lesson you won't learn. Brodsky, you're not the smartest. Life out, you're not an artist. Anyone who's had a bad comic published, it could be your turn. Linkara, he's a man, punch, wears a party hat. Linkara, he has a magic gun. Where'd he purchase that? Linkara, coins, robots, Amazon and trucks. Linkara, this comic sucks. Linkara.
This one I'm not reading from the trade, since I actually do own a copy of The Grinning Man. Yay, I feel so proud. And hey, I suppose there's truth in the title of this one. The cover features a man that's grinning. Mind you, he's also got some kind of neo-cowboy thing going for him, and a bare chest for no reason, so there are other descriptive factors to him other than just grinning, but hey, it could be worse. This comic could have been called The Man Who Shapes His Hair Like Jesse from Pokemon. We open on some guy attempting to perform a magic ritual. Azazoth, protect your servant! Damn it all, Scott Ciencin, are you not actually at fault here? Did you submit a script for a Call of Cthulhu comic, and IDW just slapped the Silent Hill logo on it? Mind you, the spelling is off, but Azathoth is the name of a deity from the Cthulhu mythos, and, assuming this picture is correct, was probably the inspiration for the giant spaghetti monster, and considering Scott Ciencin's use of names and themes from Lovecraftian horror, I have a hard time believing that it's a coincidence. Lovecraft and Silent Hill are not the same thing. Obviously, some of the monster designs take inspiration from Lovecraft, and you could probably make some other connections, but the common Lovecraft mythos are about ancient alien godlike beings of immense power, whereas Silent Hill is more commonly about psychological traumas given manifest form. Both are good, both are scary, but still are not the same thing! Ugh, anyway, the guy starts his ritual. Give him strength to strike down your enemy. Bring your emissaries to me! This is Azazoth. Your call is very important to us. However, there is no one currently available to take your request. But if you'd like to leave a short message, please do so after the beep. Unfortunately for our nameless friend here, the Grinning Man arrives. Shit! You're one ornery mofo now, ain't ya? That's okay. Kinda puts a smile on my face. And puts tattoos on your torso. I'll not tell you anything else. No need. You've already told me plenty, hoss. And really, I did not need to know about all that stuff you do with the goats. A bunch of monsters show up behind the ritual guy, and the Grinning Man tosses away his cigarette near some crates conveniently labeled explosives. I see you got your weapon out, boy. Me too. Draw! Well, this cult guy could probably draw something better than this comic, that's for sure. I'm serious about that. The artist for this one is Nick Stakal, the same artist who drew Dead Alive, and it's horrible! The best example I can give for why this is terrible is probably on the next page. They're apparently in a mine shaft that looks all well and good, then the mine shaft explodes, and it's okay on the Kraboom panel, but then look at how he depicts flames in this story, as wispy, almost paper-like strands kind of painted orange and white. Oh, and with black outlines, too. Yeah, the light of fire and big plumes of flames naturally needed to be outlined in black. I mean, it's just impossible to see them without those lines. The Grinning Man emerges from the flames with nary a scratch on him. Don't need to turn down the heat on my account. He's the Joker. Seriously, he grins, he tells bad jokes, he kills people, and just look at the face on that cover. He's the Joker! He's also a smug jackass as he comes to the road and finishes his thought. 'Cause you can't get no hotter than me. I should also point out that he apparently decided to finish his lame joke hours later, because now it's daytime and he has to be pretty far away from the mine shaft, otherwise the two women who stopped to give him a lift would notice it. Sequential storytelling, reasonable time transitions, pfft, we don't have time for stuff like that. We need to show off the Grinning Man's magical powers as he casts a spell to make himself look more like Fabio or something to attract the attention of the two women. Naturally, they find nothing strange about random guy in the middle of the desert, maybe they thought he ran away from the production crew filming Jerry, requiring a lift to Silent Hill. And really, a lift to Silent Hill from the desert? Maybe the flashbacks in Among the Damned didn't take place in Iraq or any country with lots of desert, but rather right outside the town, since apparently in the comics' version of the place, Silent Hill isn't a New England tourist town, but rather somewhere out near Reno. Anyway, we cut to a guy getting out of bed. What is it, tough guy? Not sleep well? No, not that. It's just the way I'm drawn is all. I look like I'm made out of Play-Doh. Our hero this time is a state trooper named Robert Tower, who has a kind wife who helps him with his breakfast and cleans his clothes. I'm gonna make us some breakfast. Ham and eggs.
I was just preparing an egg breakfast.
The way this is drawn, you'd think the fact that she has no expression on her face as she says this would be significant. See, that's the thing about sequential art. Basically, we have snapshots that tell a story. Every panel needs to be significant and have a purpose. But this blank look on her face? Completely meaningless. We never see her again. What's done better is the bottom panel, where he has a card congratulating him on his upcoming retirement. We cut to his office, where he's talking with a woman whose son has gone missing. It's that town, Silent Hill. Jesus, I never would have let my Jimmy go there if I'd have known people believe there's demon and shit like this there. His damn friends, they got him into it. Poor Jimmy. My little James. He said he got a letter from his dead wife. His friends were just playing a horrible prank on him. She's been coming for 6 months, and unfortunately they haven't been able to find him. Abandoned towns can be dangerous places. Drug dealers take over buildings and we run them out. Squatters and psychotics. Oh, for crying out in the bean. Are they really saying the entire town is abandoned? It's not like Silent Hill was some podunk tiny little village with like 3 stores in it that'd be easy for it to become completely abandoned. There were apartment complexes, a motel, a hotel, an amusement park, its own police station, an historical society, a lighthouse, an orphanage, a theater, a prison, 2 hospitals, and various homes. How the hell is a town that damn big, but it can become so completely abandoned that there's no law and order whatsoever? It made more sense in the games because there seemed to be an actual town full of people that just none of the protagonists could see. And it's not like this is taking a cue from the movie where the town was abandoned for legitimate reasons. This came out a full year before the movie. Anyway, the woman yells at them for not being able to do anything, and they clearly don't care, blah blah blah. I'm not trying to gloss over a person's pain for losing their child, it's just we barely even started the story yet, and this is just padding. Tower talks with one of the newer cops named Hampton. They apparently do have some leads on the woman's kid, but they don't have anything solid, and he keeps staying out of their reach. Don't get me wrong, I feel for those people. If it was my wife, my kid, I don't know what I'd do. You can't feel for them. That's not what they need. You need to not give a damn about them at all. Have no emotional investment whatsoever in saving people and stopping criminals. He goes into their break room for the retirement party, and good-natured ribbing ensues. Following a conversation with his wife about what he's going to do after retiring, he goes to meet his replacement. There's apparently a wall full of pictures of people who have disappeared in Silent Hill, and the new guy is hanging out in front of it. All of you sad, sad people. One by one you came to Silent Hill, and whatever you might have gained, you suffered loss as well. All you sad bastards who were forced to use breakable weapons. How do you break a katana by stabbing monsters? I am one with all of you, and I promise I will carry each of your messages home. What's that? No, Mrs. Bergstrom, I will not carry your grocery list home. I don't care how lazy your husband is. Tower is pissed about this guy, Mayberry, because he had named his successor and doesn't want somebody here who buys into the hype about Silent Hill. However, the State Commission has decided on him being there since he's apparently an FBI hotshot, degrees from everywhere. He's most proud of his degree from bartending school. You thinking what I'm thinking?
I think so, Bane, but the Rockettes? I mean, it's mostly girls, isn't it?
They think that if Mayberry gets his eyes on the situation, then he may decide to leave on his own. They get a call to investigate a crime scene, an overturned stagecoach with lots of blood and entrails scattered about. And we once again see the brilliantly terrible artwork on display here. I couldn't tell at first by looking at this that that was a car, and that the three things in front kneeling down were supposed to be people. Then on the next panel, everyone's faces are oddly angular and too heavily inked. Mayberry has already read Tower's file and is honored to work with him. Alright, get those people back. We've got a murder scene here. Wait, what people? You mean that one guy standing right there? If there's supposed to be a crowd watching this, show a crowd watching this! Mayberry says he's wrong and that it isn't a murder scene, that this was staged for them. He points out several forensic clues, like the smell not being right for human blood, no skid marks where there should be, and tire treads aimed right at Silent Hill. He deduces that it was placed there so cops wouldn't go looking for the people most likely still alive, and instead waste time looking for dead bodies in the crash. They decide to head to Silent Hill to investigate, Tower discussing how he doesn't think Mayberry is up for the job. Mayberry, in turn, quotes some Robert Heinlein to establish for us that he's into science fiction. He does it with all the subtlety that a bad writer can produce, but hey, so far this book hasn't done so badly in establishing character. A pity that we're more than a quarter of the way through, and I still don't know what the plot is. On the way, mist starts to surround their car, and Mayberry talks about how accepting that there are monsters in the town means that it opens the door to the supernatural and paranormal being true, and that anything is possible. Tower thinks he sounds like a lunatic, but Mayberry responds that he figured he'd understand. You know what's going on over there isn't natural, and you've made your peace with it. Oh god! That guy with the doorstop for a head is trying to impale me on his giant phallic symbol of a knife! Huh? Oh, yeah, cool, whatever. Oh, hey, the Timberwolves game is on. By the way, how far are we from Lakeview Hotel? Why? Big place, lots of room, a maze from what I've read. True. And it's said to be temporally and spatially challenged. Physical laws break down in there. Oh, yeah, that's true. I heard about this one guy in a bow tie and a tweed jacket who got lost in there once. Also, in one room, you can summon aliens and they'll shoot you and abduct you. Tower, not buying any of this, says they're going to stop so he can smoke. In reality, he's setting Mayberry up for a prank, getting a text from his friends about it. Mayberry notices a flying monster, but Tower doesn't see it. We cut to two kids being chased by a group of monsters. I'm just happier than a pig in shit, I am. And I'm as bored as a person that's bored. They see the Grinning Man and run towards him, screaming for help as tentacles start rushing at the kids. Oh goody, that's what these comics were really missing, tentacle hentai. The Grinning Man, being such a nice guy, waits and waits for them to get closer before he finally opens fire on the monsters. The tentacles pierce his flesh, but he instantly heals and shoots at them again. And yeah, more exciting scenes of a guy shooting guns at monsters. I'm sure that hasn't gotten old by now. Oh wait, it got old the first time we ever saw it. Yeehaw, you ugly f***ers! That's right, that's what I'm talking about! By the by, this comic has the most profanity out of all of them, and like a 14-year-old trying to pretend he's mature by writing in lots of swear words, all it does is show how completely immature it really is. He tells the two kids he has plans for them, and we cut to Tower and Mayberry at the Lakeview Hotel. Tower tells them to call it in. What exactly he's calling in, I'm not sure, since for all I know with this art, that's a big plume of fire coming out of that one part of the hotel. A window? I can't tell! The car won't turn over either, so they decide to head in. Yeah, that seems sensible. Inside the hotel are two other cops wearing monster costumes that they got from some kids filming a movie, whatever, and loudly exposit their plan to each other, even though they probably both already know it. One of them worries that Mayberry will open fire when he sees them, but the other guy is convinced he'll just beg them to take him to the mothership. Oh, he won't fall for that. He studied Silent Hill. You have to use the blue gem in the room before he can be taken by the aliens. Don't you know how the UFO ending even works? Then we beat the shit out of him, and when he's crying like the little girl that he is, we lean on him about where the pigs took all our crack, because we got buyers all pissed off. Then Tower comes in, scares us off with a couple of stray rounds, and Mayberry goes running back to his mommy with a stain on his... And this comic officially loses hope for another likable protagonist. Based on the dialogue from before and the description of this plan, Tower was in on this. He is in on a plan to beat the crap out of a fellow officer just because the guy believes in supernatural phenomena. Dickhead. On top of that, since they're waiting in the hotel, they probably set up the car crash so they could bring him out here, though how the hell they did that with no lead time is anyone's guess, meaning they're wasting a hell of a lot of people's time and money to pull a prank that wouldn't even work anyway. The guy's an FBI agent already. Do you really friggin' think he's going to be scared off? Especially since you bring up the drug thing, which adds even more questions about this moronic prank. So you're going to pretend to be drug dealers disguised as monsters? Why? If you're just disguised as monsters, fine, makes sense. But then you're pretending to be drug dealers too? Otherwise, why would monsters be demanding drugs from cops? Oh, forget it. I'm glad you assholes get killed in the next page by the real monsters. Your idiots and the police force will be better off without you. Though in fairness, what happens is that they hear a sound and they realize that it's not Tower, since Tower would have given them a signal. As such, they pull their guns and get ready for whatever it is. And I like that they're smart enough to recognize when a situation is going bad. But I'm still happy they're dead. On top of that, the Grinning Man apparently now controls the monsters, since he follows them in and shoots the two officers, since they look too busted up to be much good to me. Have to put you down to friendly fire. Back with Tower and Mayberry, Tower states his theory about there being drug dealers and sickos who live in Silent Hill, but Mayberry points out that he's never actually seen any people like that in the town. Mayberry points out that he saw the flying demon earlier, and Tower goes off on him, yelling at him how he's sick and stupid if he actually believes that stuff. Mayberry, in turn, acts like a crazy person and talks about how people could still be alive, but in other dimensions. Yeah, keep doing that. That'll convince the skeptic. Aren't you at all curious what they want, how they got here, what their coming means for all of us? Well, Dead Alive answered that for us. They want to spread evil because they're evil and have no other actual motivation. The truth is out there, and it's really lame. We're afraid of the things that we don't consider aesthetically pleasing. Fear is the mind killer. Fear is the little death that brings total oblivion, and this comic sure as hell is not worthy enough to quote Dune. I also find it twistedly ironic that a story that does nothing but rot your brain with stupid is talking about what the mind killer is. And allow me to emphasize that further. We're now past the halfway point, barely any plot, and Whatley shows up. Or rather, 3 of him. They could be floating down the stairs, or just be badly drawn, or suspended by tentacles, I don't know. But yes, we finally get Whatley in one of these stories. Tower tries to arrest the three floating triplets with blank eyes, but Mayberry just says to shoot them. Though he says so in a panic, so maybe the other officers were right about him wetting himself at the sight of the monsters. Great, one of our heroes is Fox Mulder if he was a complete wuss. They wear pistols like our enemy, but they do not yet have his brand, and they are very ugly. You're not exactly a GQ model yourself there, Whatley. If I were you, I wouldn't be pulling the ugly card. Kill them, consume their flesh, and their souls. So commands this incarnation of Whatley. Wait, Whatley incarnations now? The hell? The lead Whatley says he recognizes this one, though which one he's referring to, I'm not sure. I'm guessing Tower. And they just vanish. What just happened? That's what I'd like to know! I can't believe this. I simply cannot believe, after a combined 13 issues of comics, we still have no clue who Whatley is or why the hell he's in these things! He appears in Dying Inside out of nowhere with short hair and commanding pyramid heads and nurses. He shows up in Dead Alive to fight Lauren in a weird-ass battle and trying to make Kenneth Carter into O.J. Simpson before some goddess eats him or something. And now he appears here with 3 of himself and does crap all! Congratulations, Scott Ciencin! You are the first writer in history to make a villain who does nothing, affects nothing, and has absolutely nothing to do with the story he's the villain of! Bra friggin' vo! The two hear screams and hurry up the stairs, Mayberry saying they should just leave and the sounds are probably the monsters. They find the 2 women who had earlier picked up the Grinning Man trapped behind mystical symbols. They say they tried to leave, but it burned them when they did. Mayberry thinks he can create a counter-incantation if he can get access to the database in Virginia, but Tower just shoots, the symbols? I don't know what the hell this panel is, but I think he shoots the symbols and breaks them. Well, score 1 for the effectiveness of bullets over bullcrap. They head outside and find the cars wrecked, Mayberry wondering why Tower isn't falling apart because of all this. Because of all of what? I've seen episodes of Barney scarier than what we've seen so far. Tower tries to question the 2 girls, but there are symbols on their foreheads that are keeping them from saying too much. Then a pilgrim and a doctor arrive. I'm Sawbones. I'm Stiff. The Sawbones and Stiff Variety Hour, coming to NBC. Actually, there are 2 other guys who have the Grinning Man symbol on their foreheads who are here simply to exposit that the Grinning Man is taking over Silent Hill and changing this place so it suits him. They ask Tower to put them out of their misery, which our brave hero does without a second thought. Okay, so we've got some crazed magic man with a Wild West fetish shooting the shit out of this place. How the fricking hell do you know that? You haven't seen the Grinning Man. No one has described the Grinning Man to you. All you know is that someone is taking over the town. How the fricking hell did you get the Wild West theme for the Grinning Man? And for a guy who didn't believe any of the supernatural stuff until it was right in front of him, he's taking this all in stride. I can just imagine what the police department is going to be like if he stays on.
We think we're dealing with a supernatural being, most likely a mummy. As a precaution, I've ordered the Egyptian wing of the Springfield Museum destroyed. Nice work, Ed.
He says the real reason why he's able to cope with this is, either I'm crazy now, or I was wrong before. I'm going with door number 2. Can't fault him there. They go off to try to find his friends who were going to pretend to be monster drug dealers. Oh, so they weren't in the hotel? And they discover their dead bodies. Mayberry is indeed having trouble dealing with all of this, thinking it's all a dream, but figures there must be a reason why all these years Tower never saw the monsters. If this was a good Silent Hill story, it'd be because the town wasn't interested in him. Since this is a bad one, there is no good reason. Speaking of no good reason, they finally run into the Grinning Man. So what's your deal? I hunt. That's it? Isn't it enough? No! No, it's not! For crying out loud, you're the damn title character, and the best villain motivation you have is, I hunt? You have mystical healing symbols and magic and crap that turns you into Fabio, and the best reason you have is, I hunt? Wow, Scott Ciencin put you in this story to make Whatley look like Lex Luthor by comparison! Oh, and Grinning Man, put on a damn shirt. You look ridiculous, you stupid, stupid character! Mayberry finally grows a pair and shoots the Grinning Man, but he quickly regenerates and chases after them, evidently shooting his guns at nothing in particular. At least I think he is. Incomprehensible art, you're soaking in it. Tower tells Mayberry to get the two women to safety, but he has to go back. There are others here, the ones you robbed from the stagecoach. I'm not leaving until I find them. Wait, so Tower's pals didn't set up the stagecoach thing to make them go to Silent Hill? When did they have time to plan their prank and coordinate with Tower and then subsequently give them away for them to be in Silent Hill waiting for them? Ugh, we need to get through this. Last 10 pages really quick. He finds the other people the Grinning Man took. The symbols allow the Grinning Man to draw power from the people he branded so he can be healed, and the symbols also protect them from the monsters. Tower frees a family contained behind some more mystical symbols and leads everyone out. There's a pointless action scene of Tower killing monsters who have gone berserk without the ability to eat anybody, and then we find that the Grinning Man has taken Mayberry off panel. The Grinning Man wants him to give up the people he's draining the life from, but Tower just shoots him. However, Tower's bullets actually hurt the Grinning Man. Why? No reason! Ever wake up, know something was wrong, but you couldn't put your finger on what it was? I can! None of this makes any sense! All these years, these things, demons or whatever the they are, didn't touch me, didn't even let me know they were here. Maybe it's because I was helping them keep the lie going about this place being normal. And since the Whatleys are here to confirm that this is related to Dead Alive, that's idiotic! They want to make the nightmares of the town affect the entire world. Keeping it a secret is just stupid! I hope not. I thought it was true. My best guess is that they can't get to me, and you can't either, because so long as I can remember, nothing gets in with me. Not unless I want it to. Let me get this straight. The only reason you can fight the Grinning Man is because you're too mellow? Fantastic. Cost me my marriage. Mayberry mentioned earlier that Tower had been divorced once, but I figured he got remarried or was at least with someone new. After all, if he hasn't, who was that woman at the beginning, and who was he talking to on the phone earlier? So the Grinning Man is dead, and Tower calls him a pussy. Our hero, everybody. And so our comic ends with the remaining monsters apparently all converging on him, and Tower trying to pretend that he's badass by aiming his gun and saying, "Draw." Wait, was this supposed to be a Western? Screw it. This comic sucks! The artwork is atrocious, even worse than Dead Alive at times. The villain has no character. He laughs, he grins, he has no real name, and does what he does for stupid reasons. There's barely a plot. It only gets started halfway into the thing, and then rushes towards a ludicrous finale. The two main characters are annoying as hell. One mistaking a lack of emotion for being a badass. It isn't the same thing, and he's really a jerk. The other, a whiny geek who wets himself at the first opportunity. And I'm sure you're all wondering which of these one-shots I think is the worst. Or in fact, what's the worst out of all of the Silent Hill comics I've read for this show? Who friggin' cares? They all suck! Read Silent Hill Sinner's Reward. I haven't read anything of Silent Hill Past Life except the first issue, but it's gotta be better than this! Thank God I never have to do any more of these stupid Silent Hill comics anymore. Really? You're doing this thing again? It's not like you're gonna be able to top last year. Ugh. The boxes of our souls are mires in the good and the bad. The right and the brown are your friends, and the rainbow of the popcorn will show the light of truth. We are all boxed in, all part of... Okay, boxes, since obviously pushing you out of the way is not going to work, I mean, why would it? you are just going to topple over and go away for me. And if you don't, I'm just going to step over your ashes. Thank you. I'm glad we could reach an understanding. This one we're not giving you. You will not be allowed to leave until you solve this puzzle. Gather an item from a forest, a city, and from hell, then the door will open. And how am I supposed to gather items like that if I can't leave? Thank you. Okay, this is freaky. This is where I used to live. Oh, I get it. Trying to set me off guard and all that. But it won't work. There isn't a damn thing you can do to me!
Isn't there?
Of course. I should have known. Whatley, I presume.
I am the last of the Whatleys! The founders of Silent Hill, and...
No, you aren't! You're a shoehorned-in character from a crappy horror comic written by someone who has no idea what makes Silent Hill frightening.
I have reality, Linkara, and so does my god! The Order has spent a great deal of time on you, Linkara, trying to destroy you for denying our words! The dying inside, the dead alive, the grinning man who paints it black among the damned! We created a grand weapon. We enslaved the Red Executioner, and we will spread the gospel through you!
Oh yes, Whatley. You certainly have a lot to answer for, don't you?
We shall convert you to our cause and spread the word of our God!
The entity. Yeah, I worked it out. After all, that black book mentions the entity a lot. It figures that your sect of the Order worships it.
You were meant to possess the absent grimoire. Its tales and spells were meant to make you more malleable to our cause. The Conqueror and the robotic effigy had goals that coincided with our own.
You want me to spread the word of the entity into the nightmares of everyone in the world.
You will make them accept their fate. The beast is already here and has been growing for some time. A piece of the world has already been consumed.
And if I just decide to shoot your ass and go on my merry way?
You cannot escape your destiny! Resistance is futile!
You know what your problem is, Whatley? As a villain, you're boring and derivative. I, on the other hand, find whole new ways to be innovative.
Pierce his flesh! Empty him of his soul! So we can fill him with the beast!
I'm dying! Oh, looky here, I am so dying! Oh, woe is me! I am dead! Blarg!
What is this blasphemy?
Oh, shucks, you got me. Come on down, kids!
Nice shooting, Tex.
I meant to do that.
The air's not attacking us.
I think the side on this is broken. Worry about that later. Ah, Whatley, I presume.
What? What is this?
Oh, you probably mean this. It's called a mobile emitter. It's from Star Trek Voyager. It allows a hologram to walk around outside of a holodeck. In this case, a hologram of me. Hello, Linkara. Hello, Linkara. How are you doing? I'm doing very well, thank you. Would you like to explain, or shall I? Oh, you do it. You do it so well. Thank you. 2 years in a row, Linkara has reviewed Silent Hill comics, and 2 years in a row, crappy Silent Hill stuff happened to him. Did you think he wouldn't notice the pattern? And I suspected with the last Silent Hill comics that I had to review that I'd have to deal with this crap again. So, for the last 3 weeks, I've had Hollow Linkara here doing the reviews while I've been up above in Comic-Con 1. Not a fun prospect, I admit, but we muddle through somehow. And I figured when everything went down and when the time was right, I'd come down here, guns blazing, and put an end to this once and for all.
The beast shall consume you all!
Yes, 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 horrible pain and suffering, you shall rule the world. We'll get to that in a second. But first... Pyramid Head, you are a creature of evil. I tamed your ilk once, and I shall do so again. Pokeball, go! Yes! I caught a Pyramid Head! Again. And speaking of creatures of evil...
You cannot judge me! I do what I do in the service of the beast!
You're absolutely right. I can't pass judgment on you. Hell, I can't even turn you over to the police either. I mean, hell, what am I gonna say to them? That you underwent a magic ritual to try to turn the world into nightmares using demons from the other world? Yeah, I don't think that's gonna hold up in court. But there is someone here who can pass judgment on you.
What?
Tell me, do you remember the name of the girl your cult murdered in order to create this?
No.
Oh? Pity. I haven't been able to figure that out. And you know, part of the reason that all the crap that happened last year happened was because she thought that all the people responsible for her current circumstances were dead. Let's let her judge you, shall we?
I was hoping for a bigger explosion.
I didn't ask for a critique.
So it's over?
Yeah, I think it's... No. This was only the beginning.
Hey, Sad Panda.
Yes, Benzai? Well, I just wanted to check in and see if you are okay. It seems that half of France's population has vanished in the past few days.
I wouldn't worry. It's certainly not some kind of demonic god from another dimension come to consume us all. So forget about it.
Well, that was oddly specific. But anyway, I just wanted to check in and see if you are...
Well, motherfucker.